broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
As we here,
turn it up.
Sit down.
Hey.
Stand up.
Dobby.
do it one more time.
Dobby. He says it perfect.
He does. Hey, what's up, everybody? You're tuned into AFTERBUZZ TV for Black Jesus Season 2. I am your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce this great panel.
Hey guys, I'm Janiesha John.
What's going, guys? I'm Jimmy V.
I'm Stephaune, Wallace.
And, oh, go ahead. You want to
Hey, y'all start harmonizing. What's going on?
And in the AFTERBUZZ building, she plays the character of Detective Diane. Please welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV, Miss Valenzia Algarin. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for having me back.
Detective
Miss
Diane.
AFTERBUZZ.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this episode was insane. Let's just go right into it.
Yeah.
So Black Jesus has a message directly to Lloyd.
Yeah, from God.
From God.
Yeah.
I need you to
Get that life right.
get your life
Get your
together.
life together.
You gotta
Stop
make some
drinking.
changes.
You've got to make
changes.
some changes.
Yeah.
And Lloyd basically says, I don't need you. Go about my go about your business.
Yeah.
As he's walking past, he sees a call, not a call sheet, but
It's like
it's
a
an
sign
audition,
from God, I like to say.
an audition, a sign from God.
Casting call.
Yes, thank you, casting call. For the new Darby man.
Dobby.
Stop it.
What a coincidence.
And
That's a dream come true for him.
Yeah.
right.
What?
And it's free Darby.
Yeah.
And he getting paid.
And he can
I don't think he cares about the
I know.
money.
The money is
All the
definitely
Darby I can drink. What? Wait a
money's
minute.
a sidebar. He's like, oh yeah, that too. But
go ahead.
no, that's great.
I think it was great. And then once he realizes, wait a minute, I have to audition. I have to go against all these people. I need a little help. So then who does he go back to?
Jesus.
Did you guys notice that once he left to go find Black Jesus, when was
What was that?
yeah.
You were saying.
Yeah.
That was Jesus talking to you. Just
Right,
make sure you get
exactly.
it right. Make sure.
Did anyone notice that as Black Jesus is walking eating his bread, that the song in the background was playing just a closer walk with thee?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
I didn't catch that.
Jesus, okay. Yep.
Brilliant. I love that.
They let you put those
Yeah.
good little secrets in there so people catch it. They're brilliant.
So now let's have the discussion. So now he goes to him and he needs a favor.
He says, I like when he said, Jesus, you ain't never did shit. He ain't never did shit for me. So,
Yeah.
so this is your opportunity now.
This is your opportunity
Do
to
something
help
for
me.
Yeah.
Again, I just it's so true to life. I think I mean, I know it's satire and everything, and they're making fun, but a lot of people feel this way. Like when you get kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, and you on your knees now. You need Jesus. You be feeling inside like you ain't never come through for me, but please come through this time. So it's kind of, I feel like it's still true to life.
It is. You're right. Because
Yeah.
we're always the first ones to blame Jesus, and we're always the first ones to thank them as well.
Right.
And as
So
soon as everybody
he
get
does
in trouble,
everything wrong and does everything right. And Lloyd's a perfect example of that.
yeah. As soon as you get in trouble, you're looking for Jesus.
I agree. And so, but like Jesus then says, I will help you as long as you decide to help yourself.
Yep.
The
Stop
straight and
drinking,
narrow.
start taking care of yourself. And then he goes on this whole thing. Now he has found God. I promise. He says, I swear to the great God of heaven, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, there's a point in here though
yeah.
that I'll before, because it's gonna matter later.
Yeah.
Lloyd actually says all the things that Jesus says to Lloyd. Lloyd says that's too vague. What Jesus is asking him. So Jesus is kind of being ambiguous with the whole change situation. He does say directly stop drinking.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
And
but the
eat
rest
more.
of it is like, change. You need to change your life. Okay, I'm just saying. We're going to go back to that. Put a pin in
You
it.
want to mark that off?
Yeah, you know.
Oh, you got Bamm one
No,
thinking.
I get your point, Stephaune,
Yeah.
but if I know that I'm an alcoholic, all I do is drink Darby
Right.
and cold hot dogs, and I'm not eating healthy,
Oh, Lord.
what else could he be talking about?
Well, here's the thing. He does not know that he's an alcoholic. He doesn't feel that he's an alcoholic.
Right.
He's just living his life. He's enjoying
Most
every day of
alcoholics
it.
don't think they're
They don't
alcoholics.
think that. They don't.
Which actually, oftentimes, we all live lives that we think we're not doing anything wrong,
Exactly.
you know, and it takes another person to point that out and say, hey, that's not right, and you'll feel some type of way like, why you say that for, you know?
I'm playing devil's advocate a
The
little
first
bit for
step
Lloyd.
is acceptance.
But
By a show of hands, how many in this building, in this studio, thinks that Lloyd does not know he's an alcoholic?
Oh, that he does not
He
know?
does not know that
I
he's
don't
an
think
alcoholic.
so.
I think
I don't think he
knows.
believes
Okay,
it.
so that's three.
It's
How many
just so
people? How
normal
many
now.
people think Lloyd thinks he knows that he's an alcoholic?
I just think he doesn't care.
Right.
He's just living life
He's
out
living his
there.
Whatever.
life. He's living his life.
He doesn't care.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's definitely up for debate. And John Witherspoon,
We'll go back to
hopefully you
that.
get here soon, and we can ask you, being that you play this great character. So, so go ahead.
I just wanted to just say, have you guys ever been to church on a Sunday and the pastor might have gone, all right, guys, I know last night you might have been up in the club, you might have had your drinking, but you gotta change. And that's just the example I think they use in this episode here. Like, when you're asking something, you have to change within yourself first in order to see that, which, as we continue down the episode here, we do see things do change. So
I mean, I would even expound upon that and say, how many times have you been at church, the pastor was preaching something, and you felt like,
Guilty.
that's for this dude next. You know what I'm saying?
he's not talking
You know what I'm
talking
saying?
to me, no.
It's like
I
your
totally
friend,
thought
but
you were
you.
going somewhere else with that
No.
I thought he was gonna say
But
like
here's what
guilty,
my point
you
in
know?
that. The person sitting there is going over their head.
Right.
But you're going, that's you.
No, but you see, I think that for the moment they feel like, yeah, today's the day I'm going to change. It's like Lloyd felt like, yeah, I'm going to change. And then the very next day they go back to what they
Right,
doing.
yeah.
And that always
it's more
happens.
difficult.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
I don't know.
You know, I think that Lloyd had no intentions of changing. And I think Black Jesus knew that. But because Black Jesus knows what was to come, that maybe he knew that he would eventually eat his words. So he just allowed him to...
I think it's more than. I think it's probably for a later conversation on why I feel Black Jesus did this. I think it has a lot more to do with Lloyd and Vic and their relationship and their friendship. It was more of a lesson than
think so,
him because
too.
he knew he wasn't going. He's Jesus. He
Yeah.
knows. He
Right.
speaks to his father.
Yeah.
He knows he wasn't going to change. So I think it's a lot more. It's about friendship and
Yeah.
love at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I just think for Lloyd again, it wasn't a situation where he planned to change it or anything like that. He just wanted some free Darby. Like, let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
That's all it was for him. And so, I mean, of course, having money and put into the equation changed his lifestyle a little bit. And now he thinks he's better than everybody. I got new friends. I got new this. I got new that.
Yeah.
So
Hence, he changed.
he changed.
Change. Look, find people with money. You see the real them.
It's true. And we see that all the time in Hollywood. People change.
Not with Valenzia Algarin though. That's not happening. I'm just
girl.
putting that right now.
She
What
came
you
back
see is
here,
what you
that's right.
get.
we're gonna get to that, but just one other thing is I liked how when they had the prayer, which he requested for, he's even drinking. He's very authentic to himself.
Yeah.
He's drinking and then he tosses it as
Yeah.
he's praying. So there's an authentic part about Lloyd that I truly love.
Yeah.
How he's who he is and you deal with it.
And that's how Jesus knows that he wasn't going to change. You see him stop
Yeah.
for a minute, like. Anyways, what I was saying, he just looks at him.
And then he took the
Just
bread.
Lloyd.
He offered him some bread, and then he took
3/4 of it.
he took like 90%. Like he
Yeah,
left
that's
him
right.
literally just a bite left, and he was like, I could feed other people with that. Thus,
Right.
the Bible, of course,
He
he
goes,
took bread and
I'm sorry.
That.
Yeah, that's all he says.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was hilarious.
His delivery is so on point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And kind of because of that delivery, and because it's Lloyd, you just Jesus had the perfect reaction I think we all would have, which is, it's Lloyd. You got a big piece of
Can't
the
be
bread.
mad
Yeah, just go
Yeah.
ahead and have it. He knows. Yeah.
Got it.
Let's talk about now the audition. I think we've all been in this situation where
Yeah.
we've all
Yes.
been
Out here, yep.
to the audition process. And so, what did you guys think about the whole audition process?
Is it deja vu?
Yeah,
pretty much.
for everyone.
I remember this.
If I could have Lloyd's luck, I would take that hands down because he got that after the first try.
Yeah.
Not only that, I felt the reason I say deja vu because we all know Hollywood. It felt so stereotyped. We
Yes.
were all like,
Oh, okay.
"I'm your man. I'm that girl. What you need a Puerto Rican with big hoops and curly hair? That's me." So,
But even more than that, like sometimes the crazy stuff they have us doing in these audition rooms, like it's insane half the time, and you feel so silly sometimes after it. You're like, what was that?
So funny when the casting director was describing some of the things that he wanted. He said,
Older.
he says, we need someone maybe that's older, divorced,
African American.
unemployed, or
Desperate.
or less employed,
Yeah, underemployed.
African American,
Oh my gosh.
and kind of desperate.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm a man. That's me.
but not an alcohol, not a drunk,
but not a drunk.
not a drunk.
Yeah.
All that, but not a drunk.
All that. And I, like you said, I find that to be really interesting because sometimes when you're in an audition and sometimes they want to say something and they kind of skirt around it, and then sometimes like
we need you to act more black.
Yeah.
They say,
Yeah.
eccentric, like urban.
And you're like, you're more black? Is that what you're asking? And it's like when you say that, it's like finally,
Yeah.
Let the elephant out the room. Yeah.
And so while he's at the audition, did he nail it, or was it the inspiration, the message that God gave the two casting people? Because you heard the
Yeah.
So
That's what it was.
Do you think really he was the man for it, or do you think his audition was great, or do you think that it was literally they were struck by the Lord to give him the audition? What do you guys think?
Did you not hear that description? That's Lloyd.
I personally think he nailed it. I base it on the actual outcome, the actual commercial. There ain't nobody who can say Darby like Lloyd. And when they cleaned him up, it went perfect. He looked like, the most interesting black man drinking Darby, So I think he did nail it.
I do think that it was still all a part of God's underlying
Absolutely.
plan because obviously, and we've seen at the end of the episode, there's a major lesson that he ended up learning, and he would not have learned that episode unless he got the actual job. So
Yeah.
Which is wild. You always think with God, you're going down a certain road and you think you got it, but the lesson is something
much bigger.
It's askew. It's like it's over here, but you would have never gone down that path had God not led you into this.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect example that what God has for you, He will give you.
Exactly.
And there's no other person that could have played the Darby man besides Lloyd.
Girl,
And
I
sleeps
thought
with
you was about
Darby,
to.
wakes up with Darby, takes a shower. Does he even take a shower? No.
No.
As we all, he does not take a shower. What do you guys think about the fact that every time they hit him, they
Oh,
pat him
the
with
dust.
dust?
Yeah, I love it.
It's a beautiful detail.
It's like a trademark.
Yeah.
It is a trademark.
It is.
Trademark
It's a
detail.
trademark. And the fact that how immune Vic has become to his
Everything.
everything.
That's him.
His saying is what he does. Lloyd's literally in his kitchen eating raw hot dogs and drinking out of the soda bottle from the mouth of the 2-liter. And Vic ain't saying a word.
What I like personally, because like in my mind, I feel like I can smell how stink he is. When they do that little powder, I just every time I'm like, ugh, So
In his bag of
And
cans.
Vic makes
he
mention
still
about
has
it all the
his bag.
time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't bother him.
So now let's go to the house. So the phone rings. Vic is ironing, which I think is hilarious. He's just ironing. Like how often do you just see a man on TV ironing?
But he's kind of old school in that sense, you know. Back when dudes used to have creases, you know, you had to have creases in your pants.
Did anyone peep the phone that was on the wall?
Old school
The old school wall. It was not a cordless phone. It was
it's the one with the long.
It was an old school phone.
The
90s
kitchen
phone?
the
Is that
90s and like the 80s.
That's
You're
like
gonna act
80s,
like you didn't
70s.
have that? You didn't have
Everybody-
that,
I have.
We all
No,
had it.
not on the wall. No, but we had like a regular telephone.
No,
but
we had it on the wall.
We
in
had
the
it on the
kitchen.
wall.
In the kitchen, you always got one on
You
the wall.
pick it up, walk across the way. You got the
in the
whole
cord through the whole
Yeah.
house.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Aw, man. We
But-
talked about this. Didn't you have the plastic on your couch?
No, my Aunt Karine had that.
Because we had that, too.
Okay, yeah.
We ain't had like
With
grandma and them
sticks?
had it, but
Yeah,
we
my
had
Aunt Karine, she had the plastic, and it's like you sit on that thing, and it's like if you wear shorts,
Cookie?
Oh,
It's
yes.
sticks.
it's just like
Just attaches to it.
yeah, it's the worst. But
Memories.
yeah, right. But anyway, so he gets a job.
Yeah.
He gets a job, and so now Vic wants to advise him, like, you know, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I think you should
Vic
let
wants
me.
to pimp him out, cut it
Yeah,
out. He's
immediately.
another, what's her name? Miss
Tootie.
Tootie.
Miss Tootie.
Right.
Opportunist.
I'm gonna disagree with you, Valencia. I'm gonna say I don't really think that he was trying to pimp him out. I really do think, like, okay, Vic does get a little carried away, but Vic did see the bigger picture. He was like, listen, these people in Hollywood, they'll screw you over, this.
But he's trying to screw him over.
Yeah.
He says, what you need is a manager. You know, and that's what Miss Tootie said a few weeks ago, was it? What you need is a manager.
Yeah.
That's pimp mode.
He wanted a piece.
He wanted a piece
Piece of the pie. I think he wanted to be a part of it.
But
Like,
okay, but as friends,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use Stephaune as an example. If you weren't repped and you were doing some kind of commercial or something, and you asked me, well, oh, you know, they told me that they were gonna give me a certain amount for this. Okay, well, as your friend and someone who's also in the industry, I would advise you to not sign the paper while you're on set, because if they have you sign the paper, that's it. You don't get any residuals.
That's true.
You
That's
don't get
true.
anything. So as your friend who helped you, if you're gonna get $8, $9, $10,000 more dollars, you can't give me $100 because I helped your ass out.
Of course. But when you come in and say, I'm gonna be your manager, it's a little different.
Yeah,
He had an ulterior motive.
And then he gets upset when he sees Black Jesus. What the
He's
hell
like,
is he
no, we
doing
ain't
here?
cutting him in.
Yeah.
He don't want to.
He's greedy.
He don't want to split it 3 ways, especially not with.
I think he genuinely wants to help Lloyd, but there's also Vic behind that helping.
There was a little worminess
Come on,
in Vic
he's
this time.
Yeah, he is a worm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep defending Vic because he has no money. He's not paid any rents.
Right.
The gas bill, the food bill.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Oh, you
deserves it, yes.
But that's not
deserves
the
it.
point you're
And
making.
But
so-
the point is, he's still trying to. He's being an
He's trying to get-
opportunist at
Yes.
the moment.
Okay, but wouldn't you rather? This sounds crazy. Wouldn't you rather be pimped by your friends by a stranger who's gonna pimp you for
Ain't nobody
more?
pimping me.
I don't know.
Ain't nobody pimping me.
No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I get you, I get you.
It seems like Vic should pimp him more than these people who just now had him sign over
Right.
his.
Because at least he can trust Vic
Yeah.
to a certain
But
degree.
what's funny to me is that Vic actually went ahead and called them.
And man,
And
made
just
arrangements.
made arrange all these things, because when he got, he's like, I'm his manager. I'm the one who spoke to you when you were over the phone. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. And goes back to.
But you can tell, I mean,
So-
Vic's got no experience. Even in your example with us, you at least have industry experience. Vic's got no experience. The I guess the guy who was producing the whole thing completely ignored Vic. He's like, yeah, you're the manager. Lloyd! Sign right here. Darby! It was like, whatever.
But in reality, I think that happens in the industry anyways. People do not like managers.
No.
They don't.
Because they have to be the bad guys.
Yeah, they really do.
They have to be the bad guy.
Let's talk about the commercial shoot.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well done.
A Dobby
He was
man.
Well done.
fantastic.
Never says when.
I think he was great. What did you guys think about the commercial?
He killed it.
Well done.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I liked it, yeah.
awesome.
And he
I
looked
even
sharp.
love the
Yeah.
cup running over.
Running over, yeah, exactly.
You know, a little Bible, you know what I'm saying? Jesus. But no, it was dope. I thought it was a really good commercial.
I thought so too. I just
It was
wanna,
quick to the point.
I agree, and I just want to shout out the model who was actually
Oh.
said her name is Sierra Carter. Shout out to you, girl.
Oh,
She did a
okay.
good job.
Hey,
We see you working.
Sierra, you can come in here too, Sierra.
Yeah.
What camera are we looking at?
I need some drink.
Hey, behave. Time out. Yeah. But no, I thought the commercial was cute. I like how they cleaned up Lloyd. He looked a little sharp.
Yeah.
He looked
You know.
real sharp.
They kept it
Yeah.
simple to
Yeah.
the point. It was great.
Now Vic, on the other hand,
Yeah, now that's
Tried to come through and
now
switch
I
things
defended Vic
For
2
management.
minutes ago for management. But
He's not a writer.
Director? What are you doing?
He went to director, writer, /
just like Shalinka was last week for the
That's right.
for the
Yes.
for the
Thank you.
LL Cool J I'm Bad Part 2 video.
Yeah.
Just sometimes you give somebody an inch and they just
Uh-huh.
They
wanna take a
But we
bite,
all
yeah.
know those black people. We all have them as friends, no? You always got that friend that's
Guilty.
like, I'm going to tell you how to do this. So hold the phone and then you throw it at him. That's the way you should do it.
You do it.
you're
You
like,
he was
Too
trying to add a
much.
little action to it.
Yeah.
Like, he did it.
I just asked you to be an
Slapper?
audience member. I didn't ask you. I wanted your support. I didn't want you
and
to.
with the whole shoes and like it
It's
was
$2,000.
but they paid him no attention.
No attention.
And now this is where the bulk of the episode comes. So,
He fires
He
him.
fires him.
Yeah.
on the spot.
Fires him on this. He fires him on the spot.
Vic, you spot. You're fired.
What?
And
Vic's like, you're out.
thus starts his
Yeah.
his transition into his change.
Change.
Yeah.
Change, that's right.
It's a different
He's
kind of
making this
change. It's not the
change.
one we expect.
And he
No.
and he also basically fires Jesus as well. He was like,
Yeah.
I don't need you. I got my new friends. And so
Which
now
again is
Wait, what
true
he
to
said?
life.
it's
Yeah.
very true.
People be, they on the
Talk about
on their
it.
face in the church when you didn't have no money,
Yeah.
you didn't have the spot. You get a little spot, you get a little money.
They
You forgot
They forget
Jesus.
to thank Jesus.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did it by themselves.
You didn't
They
even want to let him in the
climbed
club
by
halfway, you know?
And
Well,
I-
I loved when he did that. He was like, he just.
Why is Swaggy P the
I know, right?
the
Making
doorman?
his
What's the doorman
introduction
in the VIP? I'm like, you
field
play
bed.
for the Lakers, Nick. Anyway.
but great cameo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Right.
a good cameo.
Great cameo. So Vic goes missing. No one sees. No one knows where he's at. He's missing for 2 weeks because now he's
Lloyd.
Yes, sorry, Lloyd.
yeah.
No.
Lloyd is now gone. No one can
come
find
on.
him.
Yep.
2 weeks. He's rich.
Yeah.
He's got his new friends.
Yeah.
His new Jewish friends.
Yeah.
How does
And
that happen? I feel like that happens in real life.
yeah.
No, it does. That new money, that new.
That
Yeah.
new.
We feel like they
Change
got
up.
all the money. So, you make mention Jewish friends.
Might have been in the
Celebrating-
contract or something.
Celebrating holy days. You never know. It was funny. Why did Jesus act like he didn't know where Lloyd was?
It was
And
all
then-
part of his plan.
And then he kind of gave in to Vic.
It was like, oh, he has a party tonight.
Yeah, like he was acting like, I ain't seen him in 2 weeks. Okay, man, he got a party tonight.
Got a party
I was
night.
like, why was you hiding that?
Wait,
I
wait.
didn't understand it.
Can we touch on the fact that Vic tells Jesus, what the F I look like hanging with a guy who wears dirty women's nightclothes?
There was
Charlie Murphy.
And it was
Had
a
me
shit in
cracking up
Bethlehem.
all
Is that what he
episode.
says? I
Yeah.
fell out when he said that.
Charlie Murphy, dude.
the banter back and forth between
Yeah.
between literally Black Jesus, Vic, and Lloyd
Yeah.
was hilarious.
hilarious.
So let's talk about the club. So now when they get to the club, the party,
Yeah.
Swaggy P is the
Doorman.
is the doorman, and Lloyd doesn't want to let anyone in.
Yeah.
How I know personally, just from experience, that when someone gets a little fame, they really do let it get to their head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Quick.
They let it get to their head, and so now he's willing to let Black Jesus in, but like you said, he won't let Vic in. And Vic was like, "All right, I promise I'll behave myself." And so
Yeah.
now when he gets in, Lloyd is like this new person.
You're right.
So now, coming back to my
ahead.
earlier
Your early
point,
point. Okay.
Lloyd has made his change, quote unquote, but Lloyd said some things that were, I feel like he was harboring some pain. He was like, you always put me down, you never this, you
You're
know.
right,
He
you're
went through
right.
like a laundry
Yeah.
list of feelings and emotions that he's gone through with Vic.
And he was right.
And he was
right.
definitely
Absolutely
right. Vic even said, he said, you call me a dirty, smelly, filthy. So Vic was like, that was true.
And Jesus was like, well, that is true.
That's kind of a point. Yeah. But Lloyd had pain. There was a lot of pain there.
I love it when he says, you should have been treating him a little bit better. He goes up
on the key,
and sings it. Gets his R. Kelly on.
You know what, though? Oftentimes, when you're in a position where a person is helping you out, you have to hold your tongue. Because if you say those things, he might have got kicked out or something. So now he's... Lloyd's up here now, Vic's down here. So it's like,
and he could speak his mind now.
Yeah, exactly.
He got some freedom of speech now.
I think it was important to have Vic feel what Lloyd's been feeling this whole time.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Which is why my point earlier, which is why I think Black Jesus did that, so they can switch roles, and then they can understand each other a little bit more, and have better friends at the end. Again, it's all about love. He doesn't care about anything else. All about love. All about learning lessons, which is why we write this show.
Which is the
very clever
actual lesson. Yeah, that's cool.
I 110% agree with you guys on that one.
Thank you, Bamm.
We got the validation.
Yes, baby. That's what I was looking for.
I can find something to disagree with you guys now. If you keep me going.
We'll take it.
But Stephaune, I do agree with you guys in the sense that, that he needed to get that off his chest.
Right.
Yeah.
He needed to get off his chest. And do you guys think that Vic was in his feelings, or do you think that he was genuinely trying to look out for him? I feel it was kind of
both.
I feel it was both.
Both of those a balance, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm gonna say both. Yeah.
And he probably realized how much he really liked Lloyd at that moment as well, which kind of messed with him.
Yeah.
And you miss him, and you realize how much you need a person. He had been kicking Lloyd around, but he actually does need the companionship. He needs Lloyd.
It's his best
he
friend.
loves Lloyd. That is
It's
his best friend.
Not to mention a lot of times, all of us being in the industry, a lot of like your old friends and family members, sometimes they're concerned that when you do get that fame that you're gonna leave them behind.
Right.
And so that's probably why I feel that he forced himself to be his manager and all this stuff. So it's like, it is a valid concern. A lot of people feel like they're gonna be left behind, and I've been here for you, and you're just gonna like leave me when you get this new fame with your new friends, and you knew this and you knew that. So.
That was poor timing. I wasn't saying
I was like, you've experienced this clearly.
I agree with her, and I get where she was going. I was like, I didn't see that, but I get what you're saying. But I just said it at the wrong time.
Janiesha, that's a good point, but I'm going to go on the other side of that.
Here we go.
I think, here it goes. I told you I can find something.
He would have been bad.
I think that in a lot of cases, sometimes you have to change. Sometimes it does seem like you go Hollywood, but only because you've changed and the people that you're with
remind you of your normal self.
No, I won't say that, but that's a good point. That's a good point. But if someone, let's just take you for example, Valenzia. Series regular on Black Jesus.
Yes.
Prior to that, you weren't a series regular, but when you become a series regular, you're working a lot more. You got to do press and you got to do so forth. So sometimes your life changes while your friends, who's no disrespect, who's working at T-Mobile 9 to 5, their life is constant. It's the same.
Streamlined.
So sometimes you have to deal with it.
It's not really that you change; it's your situation changes. And you have to go with your situation.
You have to adapt.
You have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
And you're right. I do unfortunately have a lot of friends that I'm not able to connect with right now because my schedule is crazy.
Yeah.
But see, I feel like true friends understand that, right?
I love them all. And when we get together, it's like it's never changed. But we're all trying to accomplish something here. And it's for me, it's beyond me. It's I'm trying to build a legacy for my friends and family.
Exactly.
So I mean that's the situation. But in Lloyd's case, I don't think that.
Yeah. No,
he's just a greedy ass. Wants his Darby. The money's cool. He loves the power. He loves the control that Vic had on him. Now he has it.
Yes.
I mean that's a good feeling.
And when he went on to even tell Jesus, I don't need you or your pops, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
He was, again, being true because he got what he wanted.
But you see how quickly it was taken away.
Switched up quick.
Jesus warned him too.
He told him.
That happens.
I was a little nervous because Jesus kind of threatened death. He was like, Lord, you don't come through on your promise to God, you could die.
Yeah.
You're right. He did.
I was
That's a good
like,
point.
yo, he can't.
Well,
they
I don't
kill
think
Lord,
I don't
are
think
they?
Jesus threatened. I think what he was trying to say is alcohol could kill you. It's
Right.
not. It's not so much that he was,
Sure.
and it's very true. It's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah.
I've known people that were alcoholics, and it's taken over their lives and nearly killed them or have killed them. You know what's that song? Blame it on the.
Yeah.
Question for you guys. So when Lloyd went outside to get some air, whatever he was doing, I took it two ways. So Lloyd, who is an alcoholic, he is a professional drinker, would normally just throw up. Do you think he threw up because he was drinking a different liquor? Because he was drinking the Purple Derby? Or do you think that was God who made him throw up and go outside, get videoed by TMZ, and boom, now his Hollywood career is over?
That's it.
What do you?
That's it.
I think both, but what do you think?
We're talking about a person who drinks every single day.
Yeah.
So I don't think just because he switched up the alcohol that he was drinking that forced him to have to vomit and piss all over himself. So I think it was
I
a
think
sign
it's
from
God
God.
give it, God take it away.
Yeah, I
That's
agree with
pretty
that.
much it. God give it, God take it away. You don't keep your promise. You forget about everybody, the people that love you, that have always been there for you, especially God. And He's going to take it away, and He's going to make you feel it.
I agree. I also think that there was a lot of different elements too. That there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
The camera guys, the paparazzi. He's like all over the place. So I think that added to it as well.
I'm going to say I felt a little bad for Lloyd only because he said that, I deserve this. I deserve this. I'm rich now, although we don't know how much money he got. Did they take any taxes out because he had a water cat? That's all up for debate. But I think we've all felt, particularly being in this industry, we've all felt like, when is my time coming? And now that we have our time, I deserve this.
Right.
And so for a moment there, I was able to empathize with Lloyd because, although he's a lazy bum and he doesn't do anything, but just from a perspective of feeling like you finally have arrived,
Sure.
I understand why he felt entitled.
Yeah, but he took his arrival from A to Z in like
Right.
seconds.
Yeah, for him to go into I deserve from no work, you point in this room at people that are putting in work, the hustle, the struggle, the ups, the downs.
Yeah.
Lloyd is an overnight success.
And this is, I think I was telling you this earlier, this was loosely based on Ted Williams.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes, he was it I don't like to say bum, but
He was
Homeless.
a homeless man.
homeless man who went from rags to riches.
Yeah. Golden
Back to
voice.
rags or no? I'm
Back
not
to
sure.
rags,
Back to
and now
rags.
now is stabilized.
Now stabilized. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. And
The
he's
drugs
a
he got
true
back on
talent.
drugs.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Yeah. It's almost the same story. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got the golden voice. He got discovered. They put him on. He started doing voiceovers. He started doing some, radio stuff,
Yeah.
and got a little money. A couple parties.
Was this the guy that they found on the side of the street?
Yeah.
And they were
Yes.
recording him. Get
Yep.
out of here!
His voice.
His voice is golden.
Incredible.
But
So
he
this was
hit the drugs again. He
Robert
went right back.
Robert Wise came
a
up with the
shame.
idea for this show and loosely based it on him, and I thought it was brilliant. And that's what I love about Black Jesus. They like to take real stories,
I
real
love
life
it.
situations, make it into a satire and comedy, but still it's things that teach us and bring awareness to to a
Yeah,
lost
and
cause.
laughter's how you get medicine down. I mean, if you're gonna get a point across, laughter's the best way.
It's always the best. I'm being a little shady, but I think I think if
drop that shade over
I
there
think
quick.
if Ted had a friend like Vic,
Vic,
maybe he would have.
Really,
he
really.
might have sustained. He's
might have
decent
had a
now.
Vic, though.
I don't know.
And
We don't know
the
if he
people
had a
who
Vic.
helped him initially kind of helped him get into some sort of rehab program or whatever after he fell again.
Yeah.
But so now he's kind of plateaued. But You know, so he's got a Vic somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Is that? Do you think that's true though? I don't know. If you've lived your life one way for so long,
It's hard to change.
I don't know if someone could help you.
Yeah.
Really, you really have to help yourself. It has to come from you. You have to want to change.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
Which is why Lloyd did not want to change. Which is why he didn't
zero
change.
intention.
Zero
He wanted
intention.
that
He
Dobby.
actually loves his life.
Yeah.
He's not
Right.
going to change.
Speaking of change, let's change and go into you, your character, your relationship with Jason.
Yeah.
When Antoine was here last week, I asked him about, there's a scene in the opening credits where he's in bed and you're getting dressed and you're coming out and you look pissed.
You're going to be seeing that very soon.
Okay.
This is the
Okay.
episode that I've been dying for y'all to see.
Okay.
It's coming up. It's coming up. What did he say, though?
He just says that,
says coming up.
I asked, was it a real scene or was that just kind of for the opening credits? And he said it's a real scene.
It's a real scene.
Anything else you'd like to share about it?
Y'all have fun watching it.
Okay.
She's good with her non-spoilers.
So will there be...
Don't try to get me fired, man. Season
trying to
3 isn't
stay
here yet.
employed.
Look, I haven't signed my contract with season 3 yet.
Will there
Cut
be
it
at
out.
least, will there be an episode that is that's focused on you and Jason's relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
That's good.
Okay.
I want to see
Because I
that.
feel like we need that.
Yeah.
We definitely need it.
Okay.
Just as a fan.
That's
just
all
as a
I'm
fan.
going to say.
Anyone else have questions?
You play this badass, detective on the show.
Gracias,
Yeah. Would you say that is that relative to who you are in real life, or?
I'm when I need to be.
Oh, you go,
that's
girl.
It. That's my Dominican Rican side. You know? Yeah, it's funny. What do you think, Bamm? I've known you for 2 years. Have you seen that crazy side? I don't know.
Not really. I mean, just a little, but you're totally opposite of the Diane character. When you see her just like hanging out, she's just very normal, down to earth. And I've actually never heard her use curse words.
Who, Valenzia? Like,
Yeah, I've never heard Valencia use curse words.
Yeah.
Diane, like when I heard Diane curse
Yeah.
at the beginning of season 2, I remember I texted you, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Diane's
I got
angry.
all that. It was fun when we went. I went in to do some ADR, and they were like, "Yeah, just go at it." And I'm like, "With what?" They're like, "Just curse at him." I'm like, but he wanted some serious.
Yeah.
But I had to leave. I was praying. I said, "Dios mío, Jesucristo." So I don't know what just came out of my mouth. I did not remember anything. I was just going, and they were looking at me like, and they were laughing. I think they were doing it on purpose because I don't normally go
Right.
around
Yeah,
cussing
yeah.
people out
Yeah.
unless I'm pissed off. Then that's a different situation. It's a different situation.
So is religion a part of your base in life?
I'm very spiritual.
Okay.
Good.
I do.
Okay.
I am very spiritual. I meditate a lot. I do connect with God in my own way
Yeah.
through meditation. I was raised Catholic.
Sure.
You know, Christian. My brother is a Christian pastor.
Wow.
Yeah. So but me, I feel like you don't have to belong to anything to connect with God. So yeah,
I agree with that.
I'm very spiritual.
I just felt a couple moments here as you've been interacting with us, like you kind of wanted to break into like a little sermon or something you had inside you.
I do.
Like it's something in there
And
that was trying
sometimes
to.
I get really like, you know.
All right.
We'll call it
Yeah,
passion.
it's really fun. It's funny. I actually want to give a shout out to my niece Alexandra Melendez and her entire school at Salental in Salem. It's funny. She's like my mini me, and I never thought there would be another me. You know, because I'm a little unusual, but she's the same way. She's very spiritual. I see the kinds of things that she posts and such an old soul, and I connect with this little girl so much, and I love her so much. So when I see her, I'm like, I see me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Then I'm all right because she's amazing.
Right.
awesome.
You know, so yeah, I love you, girl.
Aw,
She's
shout out.
watching. Alexander, shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. Now with you doing Black Jesus
Yeah.
for season 2, are you getting a lot of more offers, or has the audition process, this whole Hollywood life, has it changed for you as far as the business aspect?
Dramatically.
Okay.
Especially auditions, it went up, not just one level.
Yeah, okay.
Like basically now I'm going in and I'm like, oh, I've been seeing this one for 10 years on TV, and I'm auditioning now. So the competitiveness has changed. You know, people that I go in with, and it's an honor for me personally. a lot more, having a publicist who's over there. You guys can't see her, but she's taught me a lot too. And I've gone out there and done a lot of interviews and with my foundation and doing a lot more charity work. And I'm doing a celebrity basketball game next week. But I get down. Don't get it twisted. I was captain of my basketball team.
Between the legs twice.
And trivia, she's very fast. She used to run track.
I was an athlete. That was my first passion. It was to go to the Olympics and run track and then things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you and Bachelor had a lot to talk about because he's a track guy too, right?
That's right.
In college.
Yeah, Batch is badass.
Have you two raced before?
He's scared. He ain't
ready.
Batch, let's do this.
Hey.
Season 3. Me and you, baby.
There's an episode in season 1 where she chases the car, Miss Tootie's car. Oh my God! Like
I forgot about it.
She caught literally. She took off so fast. You literally thought
I was
she was
there before. Like they got so scared. Even the director, he was like, "What the heck?" They all just stopped. And I didn't know. And it was uphill. I didn't know I could still run that fast. So what they would do is let the car go, let Jason go, and then about 20 seconds later, let me go.
Yeah.
But I still caught up, and they were like, "We can't. You just act like you're running fast. Don't run fast."
We need you to jog. Okay.
I can't help it. But everything's been a blessing. I like to say lucky. I'm blessed and lucky.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing journey. And at this point, I just want to share my voice and share my light and help others with their experiences as I continue to experience.
Yeah.
Which is why
beautiful.
I'm writing the book and everything. But yeah, this has been great. Black Jesus has been a life changer.
And speaking of writing, I know you can't give too much information, but you are writing for a series, for a TV series on a cable network.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess Lifetime. I know you can't say, but my guess is Lifetime.
Why is it? Can you tell me that?
I don't even like the tone in which my guess is Lifetime.
I know, what is that?
No, because
She's writing for those guys.
No, because Lifetime is really popular. They do a lot of new programming.
They do.
So I'm not gonna say VH1.
Right.
True.
That's not.
My guess is Hallmark Channel.
And don't sleep on the cable. And don't sleep on the cable money. So my guess is no.
I have to say, I can't tell you that, but when growing up with my mom, our tradition was to watch Lifetime movies, and we would sit there with tissues, and she's like, "Mija, when you make it rich and famous, be on a Lifetime movie." So Lifetime, I'm still waiting. Send an audition.
I love it.
Yeah, I want to be on Lifetime. I would love to do a movie. But no, it's the writing process. I think we talked about this before. It's very new for me, and I'm learning as I go. And I'm very lucky to know a lot of writers and to have them invite me over and to write with them. And one of the shows was picked up, and I was very lucky to write for a show that's been picked up.
Yeah.
I like to say more. I like to say that more. I'm interning.
Okay.
They don't think I am. They think I'm actually part of the team. But I like to say that because it's I'm just being a sponge right now and absorbing as much as I can and learning.
Right.
Because it's definitely an avenue I would love to take. I would love to write and produce and direct, and I think that's going to be my overall.
Good.
Yes.
And I know you directed a music video for your artist, your friend artist, which she's here in the studio. But where's the video? Where can that be found on YouTube? And say the artist's name.
Her name is Margot Thunder. You guys know her from 9.9 of Ladies and Lady Soul. And my gosh, I might need to ask her. It's been such a long time. Merry Go Round.
Okay.
Merry Go Round.
And it's on YouTube?
It is on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it's badass.
All right.
It's one of my first directing debut experiences, and I think I killed it. Still waiting for my award.
I saw the video. It's a great video. And so before we go, let's go quickly into predictions, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay.
And now an AfterBuzz prediction.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
And who's first? Ladies first?
I'll go first.
Ladies
I'm
always
still
first.
sticking with my prediction, even though we saw, Jesus bring about this new, this lesson between Vic and Lloyd. I still think that Lloyd and Vic are gonna have issues when his wife comes back, because Vic never told Lloyd about messing around with his wife. So I see that happening.
Okay.
Okay.
Looking forward to seeing more impact from the ice cream truck, of course, because they are supposed to be spreading the word. And I just did want to mention, I actually put this in quote from this episode. Lloyd said, "I let the fame go to my head, forgot the important things in life." And I think that happens a lot of times, especially in this entertainment. So I love the underlying messages that Black Jesus always gives.
I don't know what I want to predict here. I don't have a prediction. I've been predicting that you and Jason gonna get back together and live happily ever after. But I'm starting to go back on that. I don't know if that's gonna happen. So,
speaking of that, I have two predictions. The Jason Diane, the scene that we see in the intro credits while she walks off. I'm going to go far right and say the reason that she gets out of bed is because maybe he couldn't get an erection. And maybe she thinks that he just finished having sex with someone else, because that's what happens a lot of times. So I'm just gonna go far right and say maybe that's what it is. And I actually don't know if they would actually get back together this season. So that's my prediction for Jason and Diane. And then for this big did Antoine say that it was a wedding reception or for the wedding reception episode, which is coming later?
Episode 10.
Episode 10. I think the shit's gonna really hit the fan. I think the entire cast is gonna be there.
That's the one.
And I think that my prediction is gonna be that Vic and Lloyd fight.
I'm with that one.
They're gonna fight.
all right,
I'm with it.
right.
And it's gonna turn into a big spectacle, and I believe that Reverend Cleveland is probably going to officiate or say the prayer. I think it's gonna be like this
He
big
gonna do his
huge
job
thing.
for real this time.
Yeah.
What if Reverend Cleveland got with Miss Tootie?
He has the hots for her.
He does have the hots.
Hots for her. I mean, look at Miss Tootie.
Remember when she came in on the church heist?
Oh yeah, right.
He was all
And he smokes weed
with
too.
her best Sunday best.
He smoked weed too.
Yeah, they got schemes. They try to get money
They would make a cute couple.
by any means necessary.
Might as well.
So we had some pretty great predictions,
Yeah.
and now we have to say goodbye. We want to thank our special guest Valenzia. Let everyone know where you can be found on social media.
Well, on Twitter, you can find me at V Algarin, on Instagram at VAlgarin7, and anywhere else, Valenzia Algarin.
All right,
Got
and
you,
we'll
girl.
look out for that new Lifetime.
Here we go with the rumors.
With that Lifetime new TV special that you're going to be writing on.
And also look up for my new movie, Mangled Angels. We're actually in the process of shooting that, so it's good. It's
She
gonna be
a working
good one.
woman.
Nice.
Working woman.
Yeah.
And let everyone know where you guys can be found on
Working
social
woman.
media.
She'll never tell us if there's an actual Jason in her life, but
You never asked her.
yeah, I was getting to it, but we ran out of time.
Well,
Ran out of time.
Well, next time.
You can find me at I Am More Fire everywhere on social media.
On Twitter, Instagram at Be Your Own Dad.
You guys can find me on all social media. On Janiesha John, Janiesha_Miss VI. You guys got me missing that one.
And you can find, you want to do it again?
Yeah, Janiesha_Miss VI.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. And also, James Bond fans, there's a new video game called James Bond, World of
right.
Espionage, and I play character Agent Khalid. So check it out.
Yes.
It's available on all Android and Apple devices. James Bond, World of Espionage. I play Agent Khalil. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV for Black Jesus. Thank you to our special guest, Ms. Valenzia Algarin, and we see you guys
Valenzia.
next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Trying to kill.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.